Hello stock traders, I hope all of you had a fantastic trading day. Boy, Friday was rough. This has been an interesting week, that is for sure. And we had quad witching day, and so that was kind of a tough thing today, and also some other key factors that kind of showed us that this might have been happening. If you saw my video that came out on Friday morning, I warned that this could happen and some things that were looking very concerning to me. So anyway, in this video, I'm going to cover everything that was sold throughout the week in our Discord with the 3 strategies that we've been covering, just to give you an idea of how things are going over there. And then also, it is a great idea to always track your trades. So I always track my trades by my top 3 strategies. I'm always evaluating them, seeing if they need any kind of tweaks to make them better, and I recommend that you do the same. It's just a really good idea. Okay, so let's get into the video. Today, I finished with a 2.57% loss. Month to date, though, I am at a 56.58% gain. A lot of that had to do with ORF. What a fantastic stock pick that was. Year to date, I am personally at a 162.15% gain. Hopefully all of you are having a great year so far. Looking forward to even more gains as we get going. But before we get into this video, if you could do me a favor, please hit that most amazing and wonderful like button. Also, if you haven't done so before and you like the stock picks of this channel, please subscribe and turn on those bell notifications so you get notified when one of these videos comes out. Also, please reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. Reach out to me in the comments section down below. If you want my opinion on a stock, I'm more than happy to offer my opinion. Just reach out and put the ticker in the comment section and I will take a look at what I think for it. I am not a financial advisor, so it is only my opinions, but I can give you some technical analysis of it and take a look and see and just tell you what I think. 2 minds are better than 1. Okay, so now let's cover the different strategies and all the stocks that were sold this week. Let's start with the insider swing play. Now this is a strategy that I use. I buy stocks based on strategies. I don't just randomly buy stocks because I think they're going to go up. I have to have a strategy for them. Anytime you're writing a strategy, you not only need to have the things that you're looking for, but the things that you will do, but also a checklist of what you will do if the stock turns against you. So let's get in. This is based on insider activity. These are all stocks that have recent insider activity that is completely legal and reported with the SEC. Okay, so let's start with UWMC, home of the Fighting Badgers, sold for a 3.34% gain. FEYE sold for a 6.59% gain. REVG sold for a 5.09% loss. CORT sold for a 0.01% gain, but hey, a gain's a gain, right? DLTR sold for a 0.37% gain. OPEN sold for a 3.56% loss. EVFM sold for an 18.75% loss. ADOM sold for a 2.76% gain. That was sold on Friday. And so that was 5 successful picks out of 8 total, but overall for a 62% win rate. But overall, we had a 1.76% loss per pick. Typically over the last 5 years, this strategy has yielded a 70% win rate with an average gain per pick of 3%. Last week, we were well over 6%. This week, we had a little bit of a tougher time. All right, so now let's go through our PDUFA and phase data run-up plays. First was ASND, sold for a 6.76% loss. Next was OMER, sold for a 0.56% loss. And lastly was CMRX, sold for a 2.62% loss. So this is 0 out of 3. This had a rough time this week. Average loss per pick of 3.31%. But if you remember last week, we had some killer picks in this, and we have some open trades on this that are going to be amazing. We just haven't got to the exit point yet on them. And so there is lots of good with this strategy. This strategy flat out works. This is playing the run up of phase data being released or a PDUFA date that is being under review by the FDA. All right, last but not least, let's cover our squeeze play. Now, this one is either win big or lose small. And so the win rate on this is going to be smaller, but the average gain when you have a gain is huge. And you'll see what I mean here. We were 2 out of 8 this last week on this, but you can see the wins are gigantic wins. So here we go. We started off with HGEN, sold for a 6.50% loss. Next was ROOT, sold for a 19.77% gain. Next was CLOV, sold for a 75.64% gain. ATNX sold for a 5.4% loss. PLAY sold for a 4.22% loss. RIDE sold for a 1.9% loss. WB sold for a 3.39% loss. And WOOF sold for a 5.82% loss. So that was 2 out of 8, only a 25% win rate, but an average gain per pick of 8.52% because of those 2 big winners. And that's how this strategy works. You'll have a couple just really, really big ones, and you'll have some small losses, but the big wins outweigh the losses. So how you do it is you go evenly on each and every pick. At least that's how I've been doing it, and been having an overall success rate with it that I'm very happy with. All right, now let's go to the chart and take a look at the state of the market and kind of talk about market conditions and kind of what I've been talking about. So I have been tracking the 5-wave sequence of the Elliott wave on the SPY, the S&P 500. And you can see wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3 here, that finished out right around May 7th. Then we had a pullback, and then we went all the way up to here. And this yellow line here shows wave 5. So this is wave 5 right here. I put it in yellow so you can really see it, but it has closed out. Now, why do I say that? Because wave 5 is over, in my opinion, because we've had a negative cross on the MACD, and we are having a lot of momentum on the RSI to the downside. And so this being the case, we are most likely looking at a 3-wave correction, or a correction of some sort. We should see lower prices here in the market. This is just my opinion. You know, of course, I hope the bulls come in and pick up this lower price and we go right back upwards, but at least it appears that this is the case. And so this is why I track it. That's why it's so important to track the S&P 500 and what's going on in the overall market. All right, let's go to the QQQs and take a look and see what kind of day we had on Friday. So we had just a little bit of a pullback of 0.74, so it's not bad. We are not seeing a big rollover yet in the triple Qs, but it might be coming, especially since the SPY and VIX and IWM are all showing signs of a bearish market, at least in the very short term, that we are looking at a correction. Next, we have the VIX. Let's take a look, and the higher the VIX goes, the worse it is for the market. So you can see today up 16.62%. So that is not good, and it finishing above $20. That is very bearish for the market, and so fear is entering the market, and so that is not good. So that's something to be very concerned about. And lastly, the Russell 2000 ETF, you can see here, finished down 2.27. You can see this negative cross in the MACD. You can see the RSI with negative momentum. This is all pointing again towards a correction, at least in the short term, that we could be looking at some lower prices going into next week. And what I like to do in this type of situation is as I sell positions, that I go cash and I hold extra cash during these kind of times. You can expect this to last typically when this starts about a week to 2 weeks, although I'm trying to forecast the market, and of course the price action is king and catalysts are king. So if we get good news on the market, everything can be erased that I'm saying right now. But as it looks right now, it looks like we are heading towards lower prices and the market correcting itself and moving down to lower prices. So you can definitely plan for that by selling positions, going cash, not doing call options. If you do any options, make sure you, of course, you have a strategy behind it. You know what you're doing. That is just the way it looks like for the market. Okay, so now let's get to the top 7 and take a look. Hopefully these picks will help you to be successful in the coming weeks. I worked very hard on putting together this list. This should be the best of the best. I'm really trying to help you to win this next week. A lot of these are mid to long-term picks, so they will be in this list for a little while. So we have a great group. We have this Patreon group, and if you are looking for great investment ideas, I highly recommend you check it out. We have levels of all different types depending upon what you're looking for. For the small amount that it costs, you will easily make it up with one great trade. We have great trade ideas in there each and every day. Please check it out. We have a link in the description down below. I think you'll be glad that you did. All right, let's get to the top 7. number 7 is DSS, Document Security Systems. And on Friday, this finished up 2.44%. My average in it's $1.68. And since calling this out, it is up a whole 1.19%, but you haven't missed much. Analysts have an average target price of $13.75. And so this is currently trading at $1.68, and it is a phenomenal value. Huge insider purchasing, big insider purchasing that was reported late on Thursday. This makes this a great pick because it is way oversold with high insider activity. As you can see here on the chart, you can see how much it has dipped. The insiders loaded up right around the $1.70 range, and it is starting to move up from there as people react to that not very long ago. So that was almost a 50% downturn that it had, and so I'm expecting this to bounce back big time. It is way oversold. You still have time to get into this and make some killer money. Look at the value that it is down here on the RSI, but we are just starting to see positive momentum on the daily chart here that's just beginning. So you are almost at the ground floor of this recovering. I do believe it will recover and do very well for you this next week, even with a market correction or whatever's going on. I think that this one is just way too far oversold. All right, number 6 is GLP, and this is Global Partners. And on Friday, this finished down 1.10%. My average in it's $27.11. Since calling this out, it is down 4.17%. But here's why I like it. Global Partners is buying back shares, multiple buys. They are buying back shares right now. And so this is a stock that's low volume, only about 110,000 average daily volume. And they are buying an average of 20,000 shares per day. And there keeps on being insider activity reported on this as this happens, and so we should see the price really just start to react to this insider buying. This is buying pressure that's coming in, and they are taking those shares off of the market, and so this is something that I think that will climb and do well the next coming weeks. Also, it's oil and gas, and it's related to oil and gas, and I do think the prices will be going up on oil and gas, and we could see that rise, which would cause a lot of these oil and gas stocks to move upwards also. So those two things with the insider activity, I think this one is a real winner for you to pick up on Monday. All right, number 5 is NVDA, ticker symbol NVDA, and on Friday this finished down 0.10%. My average in it is $605.78. Hopefully all of you got in on this when I first recommended it in my videos. Analysts have an average target price of $733.92. Since calling this out, all of our members are up about 23.07%. If you got in it when I called it out on YouTube, you should be really close to that. This just continues to move upwards, and we got a new $900 price target announced Friday morning. And so that's another reason to be in it. And also there's a stock split coming up on this, a 4-to-1 stock split. This was a powerful catalyst for Tesla and Apple not too far back, and it seems like NVIDIA is doing the same thing. So I think this is going to be a great stock to buy and hold as we get to that run up. All right, number 4 is a gem of a stock, and this is the GEO Group, ticker symbol GEO. And on Friday, this finished up 5.83%. My average in it is $6.02. Since calling this out in our standard room of our Discord, we are up 26.58%. There is still so much more to go. I'm going to explain why and give my thesis here. As you can see, it recently went all the way to 11 and then came back down. Probably should have sold. Our group entered it right around here. 602 right in there, and so we've had it ever since then, and this has really been moving upwards for our standard room. Analysts have an average target price of $12.33, and there is still so much to go. Let me talk about why. They recently announced an employee purchase program, so that is a very good thing. So employees are going to be able to buy shares and buy them up, and that takes less and less shares off of the market, which causes the price to go up. The CEO bought $1 million worth of shares that was reported on Thursday evening. And so there's those two things. How about this? There's a short float percentage on this stock of 35.28%. If you have shares short and you are borrowing shares on GEO, you need to sell that thing. You need to cover that thing. You are about to get utterly creamed. Insider activity plus all of this, plus high analyst targets, you are about to get utterly destroyed. So anyway, there's a short squeeze possibility on this, and I think this could squeeze so much higher. So this actually combines two different strategies because we have our insider swing play play and it's a squeeze play. So both of those together. And I think this is a powerful stock to get in on. This could be quite the wild ride. You'll want to get in on it on Monday. All right, number 3 is Penny Mac Financial, ticker symbol PFSI. And this is an insider swing play. On Friday, this finished down 1.81%. My average in at $63.99. Since calling this out, I am down 2.29% in it. So are most people in our group. But the reason why I think this is going to be so great is analysts have an average target price of $77.50. There have been huge director buys. And so with that director buys, I think as those continue to come in, this will put more and more pressure on the stock moving upwards. Now on Friday, financials did really kind of terrible. And so that affected this stock, but I think it will recover on Monday and should have a great week this next week. Probably won't light your portfolio on fire, but it is one that I expect to move upwards a good percentage. Anywhere from 2 to 10% is what I could see this moving next week. And right now to have a good safe stock is just a good thing to have. Number 2 is Safehold, ticker symbol SAFE. This has been on the list a very long time. On Friday, this finished down 4.56%. It got creamed with a lot of the other financials that happened on Friday. All of those were down. My average in it is $71.37. Called this out quite a while ago, and I'm going to kind of talk about why. Analysts have an average target price of $89.67. So there's plenty of upside here. And since calling this out, it is up 7.09% since calling it out here on this channel. They've had 26 days in a row of insider activity by iStar. So you can see this pressure is really starting to build here. And it is pushing the price upwards. And so this has been a good thing. Yes, we did have a big hiccup today. That was not so good, but I do expect this to bounce back. It also was overbought on the RSI. So those two things kind of together, you know, to have a sharp pullback is okay. I do expect this to continue upwards, even though we've had this pullback, because that insider activity will power it to higher prices. It's just how it's going to work. All right, and number 1 is ALBO. This is a PDUFA run-up strategy, and today this finished up 0.44%. This is Albiri Pharma, and my average in it's $33.73. Since calling this out, it is only up 1.60%. So you are in time for the run-up. You're in perfect shape. Analysts have an average target price of $73.43. That's about 117% upside. So there's plenty of upside here to play with. And they have a PDUFA date of July 20th. So that's about a month away, and this should be a fantastic run up. It is right in the sweet spot of how long we like to wait and hold these for. You can see this buying pressure is starting to happen. We've had a MACD golden cross down here, and we are having positive price action as it is moving upwards. There's still plenty of time to get in on this because the analyst price targets are so high, and also the drug up for approval is a good drug that I think will help, and so it has a good shot of being approved. So there's lots of things going on here for ALBO that should make it a great pick for you. I appreciate all of you who watch through YouTube, and of course, and all of you who support me in our Patreon group. I wish you all the best in the market. Please be very careful out there, and please do good with your profits. All right, let's have a great week next week, and Raythoven out.